right, I'd like to call the regular board meeting to session, October 9th. If we could stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance for the moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we have several people in attendance tonight, but we have no one looking to speak on the agenda tonight. So just wanted to make that.
Right, no, they won't speak on the regular.
They want to speak on the regular agenda. We have 2 people, and then we have no one to speak on the public
On
hearing.
the bond.
On the bond here. So we will address you when we get to that point. The first thing I need to do is I'd like to get a motion and a second for the approval of the amended agenda presented before you tonight.
So moved.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion on the approval of the amended agenda presented? Okay, all in favor of the approval of the amended agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, next thing on our list tonight, I'd like to get a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes for the September 11th, 2023 regular meeting and the bond resolution minutes.
Mr. President, I move to approve the minutes of our September 11th, 2023 regular meeting and also the bond resolution minutes. I believe that was September 11th also, right? 2023.
Correct.
Second.
Any discussion, corrections, concern on that? Okay, with that being said, all in favor of the approval of the minutes for the September 11th, 2023 regular meeting and the bond resolution minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving on to number 3 here, I'd like to get in a motion and a second for the approval of the 2024 budget, which includes the resolution to adopt 2024 to 2026 capital projects plans, the resolution to adopt the 2024 to 2035 bus replacement plan, and the resolution for appropriations and tax rates for the budget of the 2023 year.
I move that we approve the approval of the 2024 budget, including items A, B, and C.
Second.
Okay, and then we can open that up for discussion for those. So, do you have input on those?
I do. Obviously, we went through this at the last board meeting. Just want to make sure in your packets you received the bus replacement plan, that same bus replacement plan that we looked at last time, and the capital project plan. I did want to mention on the actual budget, the tax rate, which is 1.3211 is extremely high because I used a very low assessed value as we're supposed to. I used an assessed value of $561,855,690. The expected is actually supposed to be 661 million. So that's going to right there, that tax rate will drop, but we need to make sure that we look for the maximum on that. Additionally, we have the debt service, which we aimed with the upcoming bond, so that is in there as well, that is raising that. And of course, operations, we asked for the max levy. But that tax rate will drop once they get our budget and they look at it. Any questions on anything you have?
Okay. With no questions being asked, for number 3, the approval of the 2024 budget, which also includes the resolution for the 2024-26 capital project plans, the resolution to adopt the 2024 through 2035 bus replacement plan, and the resolution for the appropriations of tax rates for the 2023 budget. All in favor of those three, could you please say aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, moving on to number 4. I would like to open the bond hearing so we can discuss. So I'd like to get a motion to open that hearing.
Mr. President, I move to open the bond hearing for the 2023 bond.
Second.
Okay. So obviously the next item on this agenda for the board is to hold the hearing on the proposed project and additional appropriations of funds for the project. If you're interested in speaking at the hearing, please make sure you have signed into the sheet, which should include your name and address. After a presentation by the administration and its advisors, there will be an opportunity for the public to make comments about this project. At the hearing, we will ask that each person limit their comments to 3 minutes and the topic be limited to the proposed project under consideration. The notices of this hearing were published as legally required. So at this time, I ask Mr. Otis to explain the purpose of this hearing.
Thank you. Pursuant to Indiana Code 20-26-7-37, before a school corporation may spend more than $1 million to build, repair, or alter a school corporation building that will be financed by a lease or bonds, it must hold a public hearing at which explanations of the potential value of the project, the school corporation, and community are given. This public hearing and the consideration of resolutions which will be voted on at the end of this bond hearing establish the maximum financial terms for the proposed project, meaning the maximum amount that the school can spend.
All right, thank you. We will now hear from Mrs. Circle about the process of determining and communicating the project to the community and the need for the project. Mrs. Circle.
Thank you. The board finds that there are not sufficient funds available or provided for the existing tax levies with which to pay the total cost of the renovation of and improvements to the school corporation's facilities, including roof improvements, HVAC improvements, site and athletics improvement, deferred maintenance improvements, and the purchase of equipment, buses, and technology. Therefore, with our commitment to a roof replacement plan, our Delphi Community Elementary has $148,100 of repair completed last summer, and that was part of the 2021 bond. We still have remaining roof replacement for Delphi Community Elementary, which is estimated at approximately a cost of $1.7 million over several years to complete. Additionally, Delphi Community Middle School has gutter replacement needs to prevent the current leaks that exist in the library and the cafeteria. Another need is the replacement of the heating and air conditioning units for the science wing in the Delphi Community High School. All of these are priorities currently. The bond will also be used for improvements in all the buildings, the athletic facilities, as well as allowing for deferred maintenance improvements, purchasing equipment, buses, and technology.
All right. Now I'd like to ask Mrs. Circle to let us know how the proposed project meets the needs as described.
I have presented the board with a roof replacement plan for DCES several board meetings ago, but I did put a copy of the actual plan in the packets in front of you. Last summer, we completed sections 10 and 12. I would recommend that we complete sections 7, 9, and 11 of the Delphi Community Elementary School the summer of 2024 at approximately a cost of $440,000. Additionally, I would suggest that we complete the gutter repair work at the middle school next semester/summer at the cost of approximately $28,000. I would suggest we replace the HVAC for the DCHS science wing during the summer of 2024. Mr. Valenta is in the process of getting quotes for that project. Additionally, for the 2024 school year, I would recommend carpeting, floor replacement, busing, and technology purchasing at an estimated cost of $400,000. During the following summer of 2025, I would recommend we continue with the additional sections of roof repair and replacement at the elementary school, facility upgrades technology, and bus replacement. All projects that involve the bond spending will be presented during board meetings prior.
Okay, and now, Mr. Circle, I'd like to have you let us know how the proposed project will be financed, as well as the information about the effect of the typical property taxpayer.
The board finds that there is not sufficient funds available or provided for the existing tax levies in which to pay the total cost of renovation of and improvements to school corporation facilities, including roof improvement, HVAC improvement, site and athletic improvements, deferred maintenance improvements, and purchase of equipment, buses, and technology, and that the school corporation should issue bonds in an amount not to exceed $2,400,000 for the purpose of providing funds to be applied on the cost of the project, and that the bonds in such amount should now be authorized. The bonds of the school corporation to be designated as a general obligation bond of 2023. The bond shall be in a principal amount not to exceed $2,400,000, bearing interest at a rate or rates not exceeding 5% per annum. The exact rate or rates will be determined by negotiation with an underwriter or a purchaser, which interest shall be payable on July 15, 2024, and semi-annual therefore after. The estimated hard and soft cost of the project is $2,225,000, with an estimated cost of issuing, including interest less interest earning of $175,000, resulting in a total estimated project cost of $2,400,000. The estimated $2,400,000 will be funded by one or more of the following: operation funds, common school fund loans, state and or federal grant monies, general obligation bond issues, and or building corporation bond issues with an anticipated gross impact on the Delphi on the debt service fund rate of approximately 0.3240 per 100 assessed valuation, based on the estimated evaluation of $661,012,895 assessed valuation beginning in 2024.
Okay. We will now open the public hearing. Remember, if you would like to speak, please sign in on the sheet which is located at the podium. As I mentioned earlier, we ask that you state your name and address, limit your comments to the proposed project and financing, keep any comments to 3 minutes, and avoid being repetitive if possible. We may have the sign-in sheet now, and I will begin calling these names of those who are interested in speaking. And we do not have anyone interested in speaking. So at this point, we'd like to thank anybody and everybody who participated in this hearing. We appreciate your time and interest in the projects and the future of our community. Please note that the board will continue to work with the administration and its professionals to look for efficiencies to conserve tax dollars while meeting our educational needs. All right, Mr. Otis, can you please summarize the project resolution?
Thank you. There are 3 resolutions that the board will be considering tonight. The first one is the project resolution. The project resolution is required when the school is planning to spend more than $1 million per building. It contains the estimated hard and soft construction costs and the cost of issuance, and establishes the total project cost. It also contains the estimated tax impact.
Okay, excuse me. At this point, I'd like to get a motion and a second to adopt the project resolution.
Mr. President, I move to adopt the project resolution for the 2023 bond.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on the project resolution as presented? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of the project resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Mr. Otis, could you please summarize the additional appropriation resolution?
Thank you. The additional appropriation resolution provides the approval of the school corporation to appropriate the bond proceeds received for the project. This is again because these proceeds were not appropriated as part of your original budget.
Okay. With that explanation, now I would like to get a motion and a second to adopt the additional appropriations resolution as presented.
Mr. President,
I move we adopt the additional appropriation resolution as presented.
Second.
Any discussion on the additional appropriation resolution? Okay. All in favor of the additional appropriation resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, Mr. Rodas, could you please summarize the final bond resolution?
The final bond resolution contains the project's cost, maximum interest rate, and other financial terms such as the first interest payment date and maturity dates of the bonds.
All right, thank you. With that, I would also like to ask for a motion and a second to adopt the final bond resolution.
Mr. President, could you, or Ms. Circle, summarize the year, the amount, and the other data that we need to make this resolution? 2.4
Yeah, 2.4, yeah, sorry.
and interest
They will not know until.
not to
after
exceed
it's not to
9%,
exceed
right?
5%.
And the reason that 5% is in there, speaking with our bond counsel, they work with Baker Tilly to, obviously look at what the market is for school bonds right now, and that's where they put it at a max of 5%. So they anticipate it'll be under that.
And you said the first payment required of interest?
It shall be payable on July 15th, 2024, and then semi-annually thereafter.
Okay.
And I would anticipate, Kurt, that you've seen Baker Tilly do these presentations before. The payment amounts may vary from every court,
Right.
based off of your other bonds outstanding.
Right. I just want to make sure we had everything in there. We go. Mr. President, I move for the final bond resolution not to exceed 2.4 million and at an interest cap of 5% with payable beginning in July of 2023. 2024, sorry. Thank you, guys.
Second.
All right, any additional discussion on the final bond resolution?
And this is the 2-year repayment?
This is the 2-year repayment. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor of the final bond resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. At this point, I would like to close the bond hearing and go back to our regular agenda, where we will continue with reports. Mrs. Circle, the superintendent's report is next.
Thank you. Before I begin going through everything, I want to kind of talk about sectional stuff, since we've got it coming up. Would you like to talk about volleyball?
Volleyball plays Covington on Thursday at Covington. For the first game, we play, I believe it is at, I want to say 5:36. It just depends. And if we win that game, we end up playing Carroll. So we have a pretty good shot at winning. So.
Mr. Daly, you got any updates on all the other sectionals we've got coming up?
Yeah, we have cross country Saturday.
Oh, yeah, you got
That'll be at Tiffany Amphitheater. I believe it is a 10:30 start. Football draw was this weekend. They will be going to Lewis Cass, not this Friday, but the following Friday. Soccer just finished up. The girls won their first sectional game in I think 7 years. So that was a nice surprise. Trying to think if I'm missing one. Tennis is finished up. We didn't get anybody out of sectional this year. That was our tournament.
any golf info?
Golf was done a month ago.
Golf is girls' golf is the shortest sports season there is. It's like 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
6 or 7
Yeah.
weeks, yeah.
Okay, first, I'd like to have Mr. Short come up and talk about a grant that he received.
Hello. So the grant that we received is it's just the AI, it's an AI grant. It's from the Indiana DOE. It was a new thing. They kind of just came up with it pretty last minute, honestly. They released it, I think it was early to mid-August, closed up mid-September. We applied for it. We were one of 36 schools in Indiana that got it. It was an